Welcome back to Hangar 51. So today I've got my highly modified Freewing 80mm T-33 on the table. And I just wanted to show you what the lights look like because they're pretty bright. Got the two red beacons, one on the top, one on the bottom. You can see the reflection on the bottom off the pad. And then I've got a 3-blink strobe on the top, and then a 2-blink strobe on each wingtip, next to a static nav light, and then the static landing light on the nose gear. So that's what it looks like in the dark, which I think, it came out really good. For you guys that haven't figured it out, that are new to my show or whatever, so what I did was, I wanted the camo, but I didn't want it to be a German plane. So the first thing I did is I took all the German decals off of it, or I had to paint over them. There were water transfers. There was no way I was getting them off without ruining the airplane. But they were so smooth and tucked to the foam, all the foam texturing came right through the decals. So when I painted over it, they literally disappeared. As a matter of fact, that one there has got nothing over it, and it absolutely, you can't tell that there's been a decal on it. It completely disappeared. And then what I did was I went to Lowe's. I got some sample paint. And for you guys that have never done that, this is what you're getting. It's a little bottle. It's 7.25 fluid ounces. It's $3. You take a piece of the airplane with you, and you that has the colors you want, and they put it up against their camera, and they take a picture of it, and then the computer tells them what to mix. And the mixes come out so close, guys, that 99% of the time, 98% of the time, they're even undetectable. And then on the other 2%, it's just off by a tiny little bit. And you can actually do some trickery to either take the eye away from it or enhance it. Putting a clear over it sometimes will go one way or the other. So there's some things you can do. And then, of course, you can always add a little tint to your own if you want to get it just that much closer. But I found it to be very, very close right out of the box. I mean, right out of what they mix comes out really good. So what I did was I painted over the big giant bureau numbers that were on the nose and replaced them with the smaller ones. I painted over the crosses that were on the wing and on the fuselage here. I added a tan color, so now there's a third color tan here. That's on both wings. It came across here. There's much more tan on this side of the plane than that side. Same thing on the nose. There's more tan on that side than this side. It's not. Yeah, it's not even. I didn't try to make it even. It's camouflage. It's never even. But I did cover up the German crosses with the tan, and then I added tan to the horizontal stab, which I was not happy with at all. I mean, basically, this whole stab, this side, was gray, and that one was green. There was no other colors on it, and I didn't like that at all. So what I did was, the gray one, I added green on the tip and tan in the middle here, and then on this side I just added the tan to the outside, because I had enough gray going on here that I didn't need to put any more gray on it. And then what I did was I painted the tanks orange as well. The inside of the tanks come green, and it's split right down the middle here. The outside was orange, and I wanted the whole tank orange. So I got paint to match the outside, painted the insides orange to match. So now the wing tanks are full orange. And then I got the Freewing T-45 decal sheet, and that's where all the decals that I added came from. And there's more than you're seeing, and there's more to come. I think there's a few more on the sheet I want to use, but what we've got here is, of course, the stars and bars on the wings, top and bottom, on the fuselage here, and then the jet blast danger decals on the intake. I added the ejection triangle here. There was already one up there. Same thing here. I added one to this side. There was one back here. The fuel tank, I guess you would call it the filler decal here. And then, of course, the number on the nose. I think that's pretty much it for right now, but I do have more decals on the sheet that I'm going to add. But there was a lot of English already on it, even though it was supposed to be a German airplane. I mean, it says no step all over the wing and the flap, and you know that it's in English. I don't know why they would, on a German airplane they'd put it in English. It says rescue here in both German and English, and then below it says emergency entrance control on other side, on this side of the plane, in English and in German, and then on that side. So I'm real happy with the way it came out. It looks good. I really like it. I think it looks, being now it's an American plane and not a German plane, I added the extra coloring to make it a 3-color camouflage. It came out really nice. Very happy with it. So, how did I put lights in it? Well, let me explain what I did. The nose gear light is off of the Freewing F-22, and literally all you had to do was drill out. On the F-22, it comes down from the bottom, and there's a plastic ridge to stop it when it hits the bottom of the aluminum part of the shock, and then the strut goes up inside it. And all you have to do is take a drill bit. You can use a Dremel tool if you want, but I just ran a drill bit through it the same size so that it goes all the way through. And that way I could slide it up a little farther, and there's a screw hole in it, and there's a screw in the strut that you just slide it up, take the screw out, which the screw is actually the one that stops the piston from falling out of the strut. So you back that out, and then you position the light in place, put the screw, you'll have to get a longer screw, and put the screw back in, and then, get your strut back up in place, and get it in until it touches where the strut won't move, and then back it off just a little bit so that the strut goes up and down. So that's how the light went on, and then just wired it in, and I'll get to that in a second. These two lights, this is a landing light normally, but because of where I have it plugged in, again, I'll get to that in a second, it's triple flash. And this is a functional, it's built into the light flash, single flash. And then the wingtip strobe, or not the strobes, but the static lights, the red and green static lights. Those 5 lights come out of the FMS T-28 light package, and it's very cheap. I want to say it was like $10, something like that. I could be wrong. It might have been only like 5 something. It was very cheap, considering you're getting 5 lights. These already blink right at. All you have to do is provide power to the 2 red ones, and they blink automatically. The white one and the nav lights are supposed to be static, because this is supposed to be a landing light on the T-28. But because of where I plugged it in on the board, I made this a triple flash, and these just had to be applied power to be single flash. And then the strobes on the wingtips are actually off the Freewing 80mm Avanti S. The top light on the Avanti is a big square plastic that forms to the contour of the top of the plane. And it's in the same location right on top here. So I have 2 of those, and what I did was I took a Dremel tool and I cut all that square plastic away to a nice small round circle, very close to the the size of the light. And the reason I did that is so that when it flashes, because all the plastic illuminates, you get a nice round circle flash. If I'd have left it square, for one, it would take up a lot of space on the wing, and then it would look funny because it would try to illuminate the whole square and it wouldn't have looked right. So I took a Dremel tool and shaved a lot of plastic off to get it down to just that little round circle. And then how you get them to flash, this plane came with the board. I didn't have to add anything. The board is already wired for single flash, double flash, triple flash, gear up, off, gear down, on, retract light, and then just power. So I wired these directly into power, the two red lights. Of course, I put the landing gear light on the landing gear port so that when you retract the landing gear, that light goes out. I put the single flash strobe from the Aviation into the double flash hole on this board. That's where we're getting the double flash on those. And then I plugged this single steady on light from the FMS kit into the triple flash hole. Now, two of those ports are available on the wing. So you can actually utilize it where you plug them into the wing, and then when the ribbon cord goes into the box, it's automatically hooked up, which makes it easier to take the wing off because you just have to unplug those two ribbon cords and then unbolt the wing and take it off. You don't have that luxury for all of the lights, though. You would if you don't want the double flash on the wingtip, because there's no port on the wing to use the ribbon strap to get double flash on the wing. The only power you have is steady power for the nav lights, and then gear up, because if you had say a landing light in the wing on certain airplane, it doesn't have to be attached to the retract. It could just be a landing light in the wing, and when you would put the gear up, that light would go out because that's when it comes on. So they give you that in the wing, in the wiring, but those are the only two ports you have in the wing for. So I just had to, after I put the wing on, I had to run the leads for the double flash and to the box directly, and I couldn't go through the ribbon cord on the wing. I had to go straight to the box. Not a big deal. I mean, it's just one extra wire to unplug. I do have those on a Y connector, just because it made it easier to put. I think there's only one power wire for the double flash and the triple flash. So I would have had to hook two lights to it. I had to use a Y connector anyway. There's extra ports for just power, so you can plug that in anywhere. The triple flash again was only one port, but that's in the fuselage, so there was it goes straight to the box. It's not interfering with the wing. So yeah, that's what I did. Haven't flown it yet. It's still it's going to get made this weekend, but just wanted to show you guys what I did and how I did it. I think it came out real well. I've got I'm going to add some photos here at the end of how I did the wire in the wing in the tank. I basically took my X-Acto knife and I dug a groove, because if you notice that the white light is behind the back screw on here. So what I did is I cut a channel around that back screw into the center of the wing, and I tucked the wire into that little groove I cut. That way, when the tank goes on flush to the end of the wing, it's not pinching the wire. It goes flush. It goes straight up against the foam because the wire is recessed into the tank. And I'm going to show you a picture of that. And then what I did is I drilled a hole in the middle of the wing, and I used there was a panel line going straight down the middle of the wing. So I just cut a groove there, and I tucked the two wires, the wire for the nav light and the beacon or the strobe, and ran those two wires down the middle of the wing to the aileron servo, and then I cut through the aileron servo cutout, and then did a slight diagonal over to the main strip where the tapes are that all the rest of the wires for the servos go, and just incorporate them right into there. So there's only the section out here at the end of the wing that's new, and then that one little tiny diagonal coming off the servo into the main, where all the wires are, and then it's just tucked in with all the rest of the wires. So that's how I ran those out of the wing tips. And then that's pretty much it, guys. Other than that, I really like this plane. It really looks good. I wasn't a fan of it. I was always a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of the price. If it was the 389 and came with all these lights in it, I'd been on board. Even though that adds, for them pennies, it would have made it worth it for me to buy it. So I didn't buy this plane. It was a gift from Dave's RC. If you haven't been to Dave's RC, check him out. It's a pretty funny show on Friday nights. He does a live show, 9 o'clock, and we have a good time there. So go check out Dave's show if you're watching this. He provided this plane. He has a giveaway once a month. I won it last month, so thank you, Dave. Can't thank you enough, man, because this is a plane that I never owned at that price. But since I won it, I ran with it, and this is what I came up with. And I hope you guys like it. I hope, if nothing else, it gives you ideas how to modify your next plane, because that's really kind of what I'm going after here. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I do a live show on Thursday night, so come sit with me if you want. You don't have to. You can just come in and watch. You don't have to say anything. I have a lot of lurkers that just come in and watch. Don't engage in the conversation, and that's just fine. You're welcome to come watch. If you want to say hi, you're welcome to pop in too. But I know my count is way higher than what's actually chatting in the link. So I have a lot of people that just come and watch, and come join them. Come hang out with me on Thursday night, 9 o'clock. And that's all I have for now. That's the whole nut and everything. I'm sure I'll do a flight review after I fly it this weekend, so I'll be back with another review. But this show was more about just showing you the lights, and then telling you how I did it, what I used, and how I installed them. And really happy how it turned out. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for now. Comments at the bottom. Like me here. Like me on Facebook. Subscribe if you haven't. And we'll see you on the next review. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.